fun things. Welcome to episode 13 of the This Could Be Something Interesting podcast.
Yeah, and we even had an intro from Ben this time.
It was kind of like collaborated. I thought you'd sort of get the gist. If I just started saying part of it, you'd fill in the rest. I'm Ben, and you're my brother, Tom.
You are my brother, Tom.
I thought maybe if we establish that part, firstly the names, and then our relation to one another.
Yeah, people are thinking like 13 episodes in, they're like, hang on.
Who the fuck are these people?
Are these guys? Like,
yeah, we finally let you all know. I'm Ben. That's Tom.
We've actually never done introductions. To be fair. We're just like assuming that people know who we are.
And I think, I think maybe we should start to do that on a regular basis.
Yeah, we do need.
And I'll introduce some episodes as well. But it's all one big learning process. Welcome to episode 13. Welcome, everyone. Welcome.
Yeah, that was a good intro.
It was a good intro. Today we're talking about Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis.
You know everything now, don't you, about Metamorphosis from your recent
expeditions on
Google search? Yeah. How long did it take you? Did you find that on Google? Do you find you go on a deep search, or do you just sort of like...
I do sometimes. Like sometimes I'll fall into a rabbit hole when I'm Googling something. I think it depends on the circumstances. Like, because I Googled it while I was walking Rosie.
You Googled it while
I was walking Rosie, and then she I think
nice.
she tugged and she smelled some dog shit on the floor. So, you know, and then that distracted me from looking it up. But I got a glimpse of it, and it said about and I think, you know, we were just talking before we went live as such, and it is quite an interesting concept in that the literal definition of metamorphosis seems to refer to sudden / instantaneous change, you know, from when the example they give is of a cocoon, you know,
or like an immature state of something.
Yeah, a butterfly blossoming out of a cocoon, like something kind of unexpected and very new, as opposed to very slow and gradual and I guess more apparent change. And I mean, I think the thing I find really interesting about that is it's this whole idea of, you know, I guess it's very easy to look at people and say oh, wow, you've changed, and not necessarily see what has happened behind the scenes. You hear people talking about this all the time in terms of people who, you know, become very wealthy or rich or successful or however you want to call it. And it's kind of, there's that expression, isn't there, of oh, you became an overnight success, you know, and sometimes it does look like that. It looks like, holy shit, what happened, you know? But what you haven't seen is the, you know, all of the sleepless nights over.
Yeah. It's defining someone that you're oh, you're so talented. And you're dude, they probably sucked it for so long. True. And it felt like most things that I'm really good at as well. I'm dude, I sucked so bad at most things for fucking ages. And you'll find that with actually most people that have they've got a real what's the word? Graft. You know, they've got this skill or whatever it is that they do. I found you know, Samson rapper on YouTuber that I like. I found him as fucking young Justin Bieber.
I love doing that. It's so interesting.
Did you find it?
Not for Samson.
Oh, it's so worth a look at.
Harry Mack, for example. I looked at some of his old videos, and even Bo Burnham. He's another great example, right? Mr. Beast. Flipping out, have you seen Mr. Beast?
What, his first one? No, because he's been doing it for a long time.
He was a video game streamer. He was too shy to even go on camera. He used to stream Minecraft and things. Even that, it sounds hilarious to think about, right? And now he's like the biggest flipping celebrity in the world, arguably. It's got one of the biggest followings, but biocaps in the world.
No, I mean, it's interesting to say like that.
And yeah, it's so crazy. And again, I guess that all depends on like, if you, let's say you saw Mr. Beast, I don't know, 15 years, maybe you followed him when he was a Minecraft thing, and then someone told you all of a sudden, no, he's like the biggest YouTuber in the world. You'll be like, fuck. Sorry, what are we talking about? The same person here? And that's where it becomes, and that's where also like our sense of, that's why I found the word immediate really interesting, because our sense of time can very easily be distorted. You know what I mean? Like I'm always shocked.
Exactly that.
Like when people talk about movies, like this movie came out 25 years ago today, you're like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. Like that stuff always blows my mind, and it's.
I think it's in relation. I think it was like there's new footage that we've got with cameras of like plants, and like they and you watch them growing, and you watch them like almost as like we suddenly live in their time frame for a second. If that makes sense, like you watch them wrap around things and interact with the world around them in the way that we interact. When something happens, I interact with this, but with plants, they're just like through our eyes, they just really slowly grow. And these new cameras allowed us to see, like, oh yeah, they're totally these living things that are like, if something happens to it, it will do something else. They react. And that in that time frame, you called instantaneous. I was like, well, instantaneous in comparison to that time frame, that kind of
Yeah.
Although it's not to say that things don't happen quickly.
Well, yeah, because even if you look at like trees, right? Trees are a great example of that, because trees are around for thousands of years. And you're right. It's the same thing with trees, right? They literally like wrap around and mold around. You see these crazy trees that are like molded around the environment, and that's taken place literally over thousands of years. Whereas on a smaller spectrum, like humans, even the I guess the quote unquote metamorphosis of a human being, of like being this like. I'm sorry, like I'm just going to put it out there. I think babies are like the ugliest things in the world. Like this
facts coming at you.
Facts.
I said the other day, I was like, they are quite like aliens.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because they're just sort of look literally like. My God, like what are these hands? Yeah. Like, 'cause that is actually what they're doing. They literally don't understand.
And I think particularly when they've like when they're like freshly like out of the oven, right? Like, and they come out of all like the embryotic fluid and stuff. It's just like like what is this like? It's literally like an alien. But anyway, that like aside, like if you compare like that freshly born baby to a 30-year-old man or woman or whatever they decide to identify as a 30-year-old, it's the change that has taken place is wild. Like, I think it would be maybe the parent would know, but if I was to show you like a picture of a random baby and then a 30-year-old person, you're going to be like, is that the same person? I don't flipping know.
Yeah, and I was saying that in terms of metamorphosis as like the literal, baby, child, teenager, adult, elder adult. I feel like there's two stages in between that. Maybe we need to create another word, but I feel like we just got like adult and then older adult. But there are definitely stages in between that. Do you know what I mean? Like you become an adult, and then there's definitely like. And then you've had a baby, and then you're a different adult, or do you know what I mean? There's like
I feel like adult has become more of like a verb.
A verb? What's a verb?
I don't actually know. Is that the right word? Is it a verb? A verb indicates a physical action or mental action. Yeah, so it's like it's like because you say like there's that kind of like isn't it?
Well, you've grown up, you are older, you are absolute, but then there's
it's not a literal word, but you've got like people say like adulting, right? It's kind of like
It's
almost like adult, like to be an adult, you're kind of being mature.
The responsibilities.
It's like you're being responsible is kind of like what an adult is deemed to be. Because you're right, I don't think like, you know, an elderly, an OAP is still considered an adult. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and then because it still goes beyond that, isn't it? Because there's old, and then there's really fucking old. Well, we've got like clear defining names, but it is true. You get like if someone's like, I don't know. Well, I'm not going to say because, you know.
But even then, that is all that is all comparative, though, right?
Yeah, but like, when you're 100,
we're probably really fucking old to, like, I don't know, 14-year-old.
Oh, if you're over 100, you go fucking hell.
That's true.
Well done.
That's true.
But that, I mean, you know, but maybe once again in relation to current state of health and medicine and what it means to be a human being, you know, there was a time where 50 was pretty old, I think.
Well, that's a good. That's a good point, though, because you know you're right. Like maybe this actually won't be old, and actually coming on to kind of metamorphosizing, if that's even a word, this conversation, because you were talking about like the spiritual aspect of metamorphosis, and I played a game recently called Nobody Wants to Die, and it's a really cool game, and it's basically about this future world where people can very easily transfer their consciousness into just like the human body is just a shell, and you can buy shells. You can go onto a subscription plan, and on that subscription plan, you're entitled to certain grades of shells, right? I.e., you know, some homeless crackhead who's died on the street. So he's like, you know, completely ridden with disease and stuff like that. Or you can get like a peak, you know, an athlete who's at peak health and that kind of thing, where you can transfer your consciousness like onto those. And it's this, it was quite a complex. I didn't really fully understand, like it went into quite a lot of detail. But anyway, the point I'm making with this is like, our relationship with age, then it doesn't really like, and this was the whole thing in the game that was quite interesting. Like when the characters are talking about it, they don't see age as a thing anymore. It's more like, you know, you don't look at the age of a body. The body is just a thing. It's not like there's not really an age associated with it, and even as consciousness, you don't really even have age either. People don't know how old they are. You know, it's just you're just this continuous, ongoing thing, going from shell to shell to shell. In the same way that, I don't know, you might change your clothes. You know, like I'm getting, and that's kind of what it is, right? You're literally changing clothes.
Yeah, that's a pretty wild description of it. I do like that idea in terms of just our relationship to what it means to get old. And I was like, well, actually, when someone was like, "Oh, you're old," I was like, "Oh, fucking, I've been born right now, baby." It's just because, and I suppose that is real. If you're really in it, like, I guess it's that relationship, the relationship to the shell and relationship to that which that picks all those different shells. Oh, I've got a new shell today. I'm an adult. I'm an elderly. I'm a teenager. You see all these things. You define them as something. And I was like, and then you go, okay, no, actually, like I saw all of those characters, and that part of me that was alive and saw all of them, pretty much the same age.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you'd necessarily define it. I mean, because I think there's the descriptions, and exactly that. I guess it's the kind of a, I mean it through. I think it's interesting because it's that kind of spiritual aspect to it. I did a painting called "Understanding the revolution, and it was taken away the R was a different color, so it was understanding the evolution, and the kind of concept of that painting was a bit about that kind of idea, how there's like how we evolve physically over time, years and years, body changes, and then there's which is evolution, we literally change, and then there's the revolution. It's like a shift mentally. That's how we grow mentally. It's understanding, the revolution. It's not like a big revolution of loads of people. It's that revolution that's personal to you. That's individual. And I guess it's kind of a interesting line of thought to think that there's another change that isn't visible.
Yeah.
We can grow, we can go to this crazy thing, because a butterfly is sort of like, oh yeah, it went from a fucking caterpillar to a butterfly, and that's very visual. We know that, and we're like, wow, that fucking butterfly is great. But people can change, and you can really feel that they're different, and you can feel something beautiful out of people. And I guess, and even more interesting than that is, I think you can go through quite a few of those. It's not like a butterfly keeps turning into a different butterfly. I think as human beings, we have this ability to kind of keep changing into continue to grow, continuous metamorphosing.
Yeah. I mean, people do though, don't they? And that's where it's kind of like, I guess a part of it as well also comes down to the observer. It's kind of like how observant you are, because if you know, if we take people, for example, if you know somebody particularly well, that person might have changed significantly countless times, right? Whereas to somebody who doesn't know them so well, maybe they haven't really changed, right? And in the same way with anything you observe, like people who have grown up somewhere, they often comment, oh, wow, it's changed so much around here. Whereas if you just passed through the area once 10 years ago, you might be like, kind of looks the same to me. Like it comes down to the observer and how observant we can be. And I think this is also where, without getting too far outside of the topic and too esoteric, but like, I think this is like where just being aware and being conscious and being in that state of presence and just really taking things in, life becomes a lot more exciting, because everything is changing all the time. It just depends how closely you're looking at it. If you go into kind of like as coming back to that whole thing of adults, like as adults, we kind of like, I think we switch off to life. We kind of think we know everything. We're like, it's just flipping. This is how life works. It's just the same bullshit every day, same fucking people every day. And that's it. Yeah. We look for patterns, and I've read a lot of books on this, on like the neuroscience of the brain, and how the brain, particularly as we age, it is designed to conserve and to save energy, and to do that, it will find shortcuts. So as soon as it thinks it has something figured out, it will start seeing that thing in the same way, and it will stop observing it. It's the same. People talk about this with driving, and like, I had this all the time when I was on the road every day. I could literally drive to work, and I have no recollection of that experience or how I got there, because I was in autopilot, and I was not present at all. And that sounds dangerous, but it just shows how powerful the flipping brain is. Like it just goes, like it's muscle memory. It just does it. And again, that is where life becomes very depressing, because what's the point? There's no novelty, there's no excitement, and I think we need that. And that comes down to like, we miss out on the metamorphosis of life, the unfolding of life, the emergent experience of life, and all the different things are happening every second.
Yeah, and it's a nice way to describe it. I think we're talking about literal individuals or something like that, but I guess that some we're talking about time frame as well. but I guess that's true. You know, there is this kind of continuous metamorphosizing. I'm enjoying just creating new words around it, to be honest.
Metamorphological.
It's a good word. Metamorphosizing, but it's a good. I mean, it's a fucking good word anyway. But it's true. Like life is doing that. You know, atoms are changing. Things deteriorate. They get old. They die. It turns into something else. Even something that you're like, that's absolutely solid. That will absolutely be that way, like a brick. You're like, that is absolutely a brick. That's not going anywhere. That will turn into something else. It will crumble. It will die, and it will become some other form of life. And we think of those changes around us as, you know, we don't live in their time frame, like the plants. We're never going to see that brick crumble with age and turn into something else. Probably we might.
Yeah.
But I guess it's true, isn't it?
This is it's the same thing when I did the Vipassana, and this is kind of what they teach in there, right? Is when you're observing the body, and it's like you have this literal experience of the cell, like millions of cells. I've just Googled it now. So 1 million cells in your body die every second. 1 million cells in your body die and are then like recreated, like new cells are recreated every second.
Are 1 million recreated again?
To make up your like cellular structure, yeah, they kind of die and they're then recreated.
How many have I got? How many cells have I got in the first place?
Who knows? According to some estimates, about 1 million cells die in the human body every second, which is equivalent to 86.4 billion cells per day. This is about 1% of all cells in the body. So that's tiny. 1%, right? That's only like it's wild. 1%. But when you think about that...
But that means, like, that implies that, you know, because 1%, yeah, but still over however long, that's your entire body. But recreated.
And this is the crazy thing, like and this is exactly what they're kind of talking about in Vipassana, like nothing, like every second in your body, like since we've been having this conversation, there's nearly 1 billion cells probably that have died and been reborn. Like
you're trying to say that since we started this conversation, we've become beautiful butterflies.
Exactly. We've been metamorphosizing.
We got to check out how many actual words there are. It might just metamorphosis.
We officially are like new people.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like a different person.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing, right? Like we are literally new people, like constantly. Like nothing or no one is ever the same, and we think like we're stuck, and like you say, we're this like solid, rigid object, but we're not.
Yeah, this is it, right? I mean, but that's also what's interesting. You know, what the two relationships between what I mean is like, you know, like a thing, like a brick or a person. You know, it's a literal thing, and then there's that mental shift. That kind of, I think, maybe I'm not saying it doesn't exist between other living things, but I think human beings have a particularly fast rate of shifting.
All right, so get this, right? So cell death is a natural process. So the body produces about 3.8 million new cells every second, which is equivalent to 330 billion cells per day. This means that the body replaces about 1% of its cells every day, or the equivalent of a whole new body every 80 to 100 days.
I thought it was like every 7 years that your body completely...
Apparently not. 80 to 100 days.
80...
In terms of your total cell... Like, the body is not... It's,
right. Okay.
It's made up of cells. And that's kind of, it's like anything in the universe, isn't it?
80 to
we're just
100
made up of like
days. So in case you feel like you're stuck at the moment and what you're
just
doing,
wait 80 days.
Wait 80 to 100 days. Literally get a fucking nice sleeping bag, right? And you tell them like fucking I'm metamorphosizing, and then you come out as a beautiful butterfly. And I kind of like that description. It's like, I mean, it was humorous in the description of what was that film? Bug's Life? And he's like, I'm a beautiful butterfly. And he hasn't really changed that much. He's just got some really tiny wings. But maybe that's also a kind of poetic description of, they might be micro changes in us. Like, do you know what I mean? He kind of looked exactly the same. He just had some little butterfly wings. And maybe we can change like that. You can, it might be small, but I guess once again, in relation to time, you are changing continuously. 80 to 100 days, that's fucking nuts.
But then but it's funny you say that, right? And you kind of joke about like, oh, I'm just gonna sleep in a sleeping bag and then pop out after 80 days. But like, you actually don't need. This is a crazy thing with change. Like, you don't need to wait until all of your flipping billions of cells have died and been reborn. Like, in the grand scheme of things, what fucking difference does it make? In the same way that someone can experience an episode of psychosis, right? That can happen seemingly instantaneously, and it's like, hang on, how have you gone from this normal, sane person to having this psychotic episode? Like, instantaneous. Like, people can change, like, and it's kind of like we talked about in the past of like identity as well, like how you're identifying yourself as. Like, if you put yourself in a sleeping bag for 80 days and then you come out, I mean, for one, you're probably going to have starved to death. But if you haven't starved to death, you're going to be really hungry, really thirsty, and you're going to feel like shit. Like, you're definitely not going to feel like a brand new person. But this is where it's kind of like, it just comes down to like how you see yourself. If you see yourself like tomorrow as being a completely new person, that can shift very quickly. But it's our attachment to our identity is what kind of stops us from metamorphosizing.
Yeah. Well, like you were saying, with the brain preserving energy, and the attachment to our identity is, I mean, that's really, I mean, you definitely get that. You certainly get that with talking about adults particularly. It's just, a kind of comforting adaptation technique that we stop growing. I mean, I think it's not maybe just set up just within adults. I don't think it's necessarily just a trait of being an adult or something. I think it's also a trait of kind of the structure, the way we've designed things, and we've set up these. People have to have these jobs of specialization, and you have to just stick to that job, and you just do that job, and you don't end up doing anything else. But you have this huge potential and this huge capacity within you. I think it's kind of set up not just within that kind of framework, like adulting. You need to take those responsibilities. It's not. That's a framework within the current way that we've set up how you need to live or how you need to, function. But there's loads of ways that and I really feel that. I feel that's really painful. The idea of someone just doing the same thing forever and ever and ever, because you are meant to grow. You are meant to change. You think you've become a beautiful butterfly throughout your life? Would you describe yourself as a butterfly?
I don't know, really. I don't know if I describe myself as a butterfly. But I feel like I'm changing all the time.
But would you say you've been a caterpillar before?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I've changed like countless times, and I'm constantly changing through my life. Yeah, for sure. Like in crazy ways. Um, yeah. Do you?
That makes sense. Do I feel like I've changed? Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely like I am that. I am that scene out of Bug's Life. I wake up every day like that, and they're new wings each time.
What did Sky say
Do I?
about your wings? What
What
did
is
Sky
what?
say about your wings?
Sky absolutely fucking agrees with that. Sky absolutely can confirm that I am a beautiful butterfly. I mean, yeah, no, you seem kind of uncertain. I actually really, I kind of would describe myself like that.
Interesting.
Not in a like, but maybe just in a sense of like, I don't know, really. I think that I guess as a creative, maybe somewhere in between that relation, I like making things and like visually, like it's like a butterfly, and like the whole creative process is like, oh, you go through this process where you're sort of like you're just absorbing stage, and then suddenly you get out everything. So it's like you're absorbing and you just sort of cocoon yourself. You're not putting stuff out there. You're just taking in everything. Maybe before you did that, you needed to have food to grow and this to do that or whatever, and then you produce content. So I do relate myself like that because right now, I've been doing loads of art stuff for ages now, and now I'm definitely, gonna butterfly some fucking music shit right now. And I've definitely had that relationship for a while doing music and art, but I'm like really excited to be doing some music stuff. I feel super inspired by it, and I'm kind of like excited to show people what I've been doing, which is why I kind of like want to show all of this new work, art-wise, paintings and stuff, and then I want to kind of transition into doing some new music stuff, and that is metamorphosizing. So yeah, that's definitely that's what I've been doing. That's how I describe myself: a beautiful butterfly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know
Yeah,
why the
good
I don't know why
subject.
the term butterfly.
Is it bothering
It's
you?
not bothering me. I don't know. I don't relate to it so much.
You don't need to be a butterfly. You could be a moth. I think cocoon actually relates to a moth, and
I
I
don't
think
even feel like the I don't know. Because I feel like maybe I'm kind of getting too caught up on the that analogy, but like it's almost like to be a cocoon, you kind of have to be in this period of hibernation. I don't feel like I've ever really been in a period of hibernation.
yeah, really. Do you not feel like that? I mean, as a creative, I really
Do
feel
you?
that. I really feel the absorbing stage,
Interesting. Yeah.
and I think it's important
I don't
as well.
think
I
I'm.
don't I don't feel like negative
Yeah.
about it. I don't feel like it's like, oh, it's not like I'm sad sitting in a room looking out the window, like but it's like a different type of like when I'm full creative process. I don't there's no content that I need to acquire. I need to get. It's like it's a bit like there's a sponge, and you put the sponge in water. And it's an absorbing process. You're like, oh yeah, fucking life. Well, all these things, and then the creative process is where you just rinse
Yeah, I
that
mean
sponge out.
that I agree with because I think we even talked about this in a previous episode. Like that, I agree with wholeheartedly in terms of like the creation versus consumption and balancing those two things out. I almost feel like I go through that though, like in such a like I'm doing that every day. So I feel like my creation and consumption is happen like when I'm in a period of absorption, it's when I'm meditating, it's when I'm walking, it's when I'm just observing and I'm just taking in the world. And then I come back and I create in the same day, sometimes even within the same hour, right? So it's kind of like I'm going through those processes continuously, sometimes every hour, sometimes every couple of hours, at least every day. I don't really have like long periods where I do that. I think I maybe have done in, like, there, if I've gone away on like a trip for a weekend or something. But even then, I feel like I still find myself creating. I think maybe this is just an ADHD thing, but my creation and consumption cycles happen at such a fast rate. I don't feel that I have that same, the idea of cocooning to me is kind of very foreign. It's like, I just don't get it.
And maybe, yeah, no, I get what you mean. I definitely, I'm still, like, I still am creative in that process. Sure. I guess it's just like, and maybe it's how I learn as well. It's the extent of researching a subject or really understanding something. For me, maybe being really dyslexic is a longer period. And then when I really understand it, I'm like, I really fucking get this. It's like I'm just totally seeing the bigger picture. And that isn't an instant thing. for me, it's like, it's a stretch of a process to really, when you feel like you got it, you really understood something. Like I've been learning on this machine, this new hardware that I've got, and I'm only like just now having like a kind of nice breakthrough of it, and it feels fucking great because it's sort of like when you have something like that, you sort of you really want to dive straight into it, and there's a process where you need to learn it, and maybe that's just maybe my relationship with fully understanding something is that there is this longer absorbing period, and then suddenly when I've got it, it's like it's that exchange. It's what you give back in return. I mean, and that return process is longer. It's sort of like I can suddenly do a huge amount of work because it's all sort of there. I wouldn't necessarily describe it as a daily process. Sometimes I just like to look out the window and not create anything.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess that's where we're different, and that's where like everyone is different, right? I think this is kind of, I think it's very much like an ADHD thing where like, I can pick up anything to a pretty high degree of what's the word for it? Literacy? No. You know what I mean? Like I can pick it up to I can be pretty sufficient with pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly. The downside to that though is I can it's kind of like that whole expression of jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. Like I kind of like I do something and I'm like, oh, that was fun, and then I'll get bored of it and do something else. I don't really give many things enough time to like truly master them. And maybe that's where
that's I kind of know that.
So that cycle just happens much quicker, whereas for you it's kind of like you say, you're kind of going through that period of absorption for longer, and then you're creating more for longer from it. It's interesting, and I guess that's that's kind of everyone has different patterns of that, and different metamorphosizing states that they go through.
Yeah, that's it. And do you think there's any subjects that you would kind of go into the depths of? Or do you have any subjects? I think you do. I think
absolutely.
Probably spent time on.
Marketing, I guess, is the most obvious
one.
And
Exactly.
I don't necessarily know why that is. That some things just
why marketing?
Yeah,
or why certain
Yeah,
subjects
why
call to you
certain
that
subjects
way.
like, video games, music, um, marketing, psychology, like the brain, human behavior, like self-development stuff, like all of these things, you know, who knows why, they particularly spoke to me as such out of the thousands of things that, I have done over the years, like, and taken courses in and
The morphing for nothing.
well, but it's not, it's
Well,
never
not
for
for nothing.
nothing. No, I mean, it's always an amazing experience. Like everything I've done, it's just been an incredible experience in the moment, And I think this is, without wanting to sound preachy with this, but like I do think it's important because I really sometimes, a lot of people say like, oh, that was such a waste of time. Such a waste of time doing that. It never turned into anything. It's like, why does it have to be a waste of time? Because it didn't turn into anything.
Yeah.
Why? Why can't you just enjoy it? Like you spent 2 years of your life doing this amazing thing. Why does it have to be a waste of time?
Yeah, I think that's a real curse of people is this kind of feeling of
It's like everything has to, yeah, like
regret.
everything has to lead to something.
Like it would have been better if you
Yeah,
didn't. And you don't fucking know.
exactly.
You have no
But
idea what would
yeah, and
happen.
it's the association of like it's like everything has to lead to something. It's like
Yeah,
that thing didn't lead to anything, therefore it was a waste of time. What? How
yeah,
how do you figure that out? What is that like? What does
yeah.
that like? How does everything have to lead to something? Why?
And it's also kind of like that period. Let's say something like 2 years, and they were like, you think of them as, oh, that was just wasted life. But like that wasted life might be the kind of thing that allowed you the perspective that you have
Yeah, so
now.
true. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh, you see it as this wasted life, it's like, yeah, but without the fact that you didn't do that thing, and that's probably in relation to the conversation we had on, addiction, and as people do spend their lives, they do have these periods of time, and without them, they wouldn't necessarily have or come to the conclusions or the realizations that they have now. But I guess it's easy to feel like that. I guess it's easy to judge it like that when you know that your life, when you have this comparison of how your life feels really good. I understand where you sort of turn it into this judgment. So I guess it's easy to do that. But it is really real that the people's relationship with the regret or the right choice. choice. You go into the fucking corner shop and they've got 1,001 drinks. Just fizzy drinks. You're like, which one do I get? It's too much choice. And like this was like, honestly, you might as well just pick fucking anything. You don't know. The same with restaurants as well. Most of the time, I'm like, you chat and then you don't read it, and then eventually they come back, and then eventually you just pick one because you're not gonna be like, okay, let me just have a look now. You might as well just pick anything because the chances are it'll probably be really good. It's probably just like you're not cooking it. They're gonna bring you some food.
My thing at restaurants has always been like I'll have a look through the menu and I'll never be able to decide. So what I'll do is I'll just decide. I wait until they come over and it's my turn to order, and then I always end up picking the right thing, like the thing that my heart actually desired. Otherwise,
Is it the pressure or is it?
I think it's the pressure. Yeah, it's kind of because I'll have a look at the menu and normally there'll be like, I don't know, 2 or 3 things that I want, and I'm like, oh, I can't decide between this, this, and this.
The short list.
Yeah, exactly. It's a short list. So like by them coming over and by it coming down to me, I just like, it's like, okay, what are you having? Boom, done. Like it's kind of like, I always say, it's, you know, like when they say, it's kind of like when they say, like, if you've got two choices, you should flip a coin, and then if the one it lands on, you feel disappointed by it.
Yeah, you should go for the other one.
You should have gone for the other one. It's that same kind of principle where when they come over, like you just go with the one you truly want instead of like letting your mind like interfere with it. And it's always worked for me. Like it's so funny. Like when me and Jane used to go out for meals all the time, I was always like super happy with my meal, and she was always like, "Oh, I wish I didn't get this." And I was like, "Oh, that's fucking amazing."
You think that's the real suffering part? Really, is the meal that could have been.
It's the choice, yeah, exactly.
The meal. It's the idea of the meal that you could have had, isn't it? Yeah. It'll forever haunt you.
It's so true.
I think that's that's legit. That's legit. I don't think I really do that. I think I think about it. I think about it a little bit. I wanna know that I'm getting a good meal.
But what's the criteria?
What's the criteria? What makes a good meal? Probably a burger. If there's a burger there, I'll probably pick that burger.
Well, to be fair, the meals are so like. Well, I don't know about you, but I it's kind of just depends what you're in the mood for, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, that's
sometimes
real.
You feel like a burger.
Yeah, totally. Like... There is no real criteria. Yeah, I do know it. I do know the feeling. What I don't like, I don't know how you are with sharing a meal. I don't know if anyone was like, "Oh, should we get this?" And then you get that, and then we'll have half and half. You ever have that?
Yeah, no, it depends. And then it depends on the kind of food. Like if it's and then
like I'm like, get away from my meal.
Yeah, if it's like a proper meal, you know, then absolutely fucking not. Like I want to have a whole meal.
Yeah, this is it.
But if it's like, there are some foods which are designed to be shared, right? Like
what's designed to be shared?
I don't know, like a platter or some sort of Mexican.
A platter. I mean, even the word platter, something that contains everything. I'll share that.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
You know, a thing that's got like 4 of each thing. We can share this.
But you know what I mean? Like if it's a meal that's like portioned, so you've got,
I get it. No, I agree. I agree.
And some potatoes and some fish.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because what often happens is suddenly when the meal comes, the person changes their mind on which one looks better, and they'll be like, no, actually, you know what? I don't want to share it. I'm going to stick to mine. Or they'll be like, oh no, you said you... And I'm like, get away from my meal. Exactly. I think that's a real thing. Yeah, man. You know.
So you have to metamorphosize the meal into stomach acid very quickly.
Do you mean you're saying you throw up on the meal?
No, you turn it into
gold
and stomach acid. No, well, you don't turn it into stomach acid.
Oh, I see. Metamorphosize
it. Depends how far we want to get along that metamorphosis process.
Yeah. Is it down the drain? Is it going down your throat? Exactly. What point during this metamorphosizing are you swimming in the ocean and suddenly find a turd?
That's another example of metamorphosis, right? You've turned this beautiful Michelin star fucking whatever it is.
Oh, yeah, that's poetry, isn't it? That's real poetry.
Fish de la potato with the little drizzle over it. And then you've turned it into, within the space of like 12 hours, into like a floating turd in the fucking River Thames.
I mean, that is real poetry, though, isn't it? You know, someone works hard, man. They work hard, right?
Yeah.
But the chefs literally create beautiful pieces of art just for them to eventually go down the toilet. That is the end result of all chefs' work, is it literally gets flushed down the toilet. I mean, that's kind of, I think that's poetic.
It is. But then even before that, like, I guess when you think about all of these stages, like, you know, that fish was once swimming in the ocean and now it's on a plate. It might be turned into a flipping pie. mashed up into a million little pieces, spread out over 6 different mince pies, and put on 6 different people's plates with drizzle and dressing and garnish, all this other stuff. Like, that was a wild Pacific salmon. And now it's a fish pie. And now it's a fucking shit in the toilet.
Such is life.
Such is
life. So don't judge anything, guys. Just be aware that we're all going to go down the toilet one day.
We're all going to end up like that fish.
We're all going to end up like that fish, whether you like it or not.
I think that's up in the same fish pie.
I think that's a good way to end this metamorphosizing. Is about what were we talking about? Fish turning into shit.
Well, before it turns into a fish pie.
Yeah, it turns into a fish pie. There's exactly that, but that's the whole point, you know.
And then it gets consumed.
You become the butterfly, and then you become shit.
But it's still going through multiple stages before that. It's then being kind of, you know, chewed and digested, and it then ends up
and appreciated.
And appreciated, yeah.
Mentally, like, what delicious fish pie. Fish pie. I bet I'm gonna go and make a fish pie now.
Yeah, that does sound pretty good.
That's amazing. Wow, I think we really tackled that subject with absolute grace. Grace is a good word that I think you can chuck in sometimes. It just really, it helps like a heavy subject.
It does.
You just sort of tell them like, "Oh, take that with grace," and they're like, "Oh, thank you." It is a good word. It's a good word to chuck at people. I mean, I'm not sure it's appropriate for us talking about fish turning into shit or anything, but I in general,
it's the irony of it.
It's the irony of
situation.
It. Yeah, no, love it.
Cool.
Fine stuff.
Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosizing.
We found continues.
many extra words for metamorphosis. I think metamorphosis certainly metamorphosized in this process. We've found many words for metamorphosing.
This whole episode has metamorphized in multiple metamorphical ways.
There is someone that fucking, I don't know what there is a particular word for someone that creates words, and they're fucking fuming right now.
Oh, the grammar police.
Yeah, I don't know if they're called the grammar police. I don't know if all those university degrees.
No, the grammar police will definitely be fuming anyway.
The grammar police will definitely be fuming, but there is a particular word for someone that does that job. And they'll let us know all about the new words that we've created.
I'm sure they will. Cool. Well, we will be back, I'm sure, for another episode in the very near future.
You can only hope so.
That sounded very ominous. But no, we will be back.
Yeah. 2 years later.
Fish pie.
We both turn up as fucking fish pies. Oh, God. What have we done?
The show must go on.
The show must go on.
Exactly. Thank you for listening, guys.
Yeah, thanks a million.
In the next episode.